Hi everyone, Dr. Nutt here. Today we're going to talk about aggression. So take a look at the ancillary material I posted in your Blackboard. There's a lot of great information and research on the topic of aggression. I want you to especially pay close attention to the videos I posted from Dr. Brad Bushman. He's a professor at Ohio State University, and he has done extensive research on this topic. So I hope you find it very interesting. So I want you to take into consideration how aggression is really defined. Aggression is defined as any intentional behavior aimed at causing physical harm or psychological pain to another person. Again, if someone sprays you with pepper spray, is that considered aggression? Yes. It's a certain type of aggression. You know, what about if someone yells at you? Is that aggression? Technically, yes. So let's look at the types. As you see on your PowerPoint, the different types of aggression are instrumental aggression. That's aggression as a means to some goal other than causing pain. And then there's hostile aggression, aggression stemming from feelings of anger and aimed at inflicting pain and injury. So there's a difference if someone's trying to simply, escape a situation versus someone causing intentional harm. Now, there are different theories on aggression, and I'm going to hold up my hand here on the screen because if you've had me as your professor for a general psychology course, I want you to think back over the different theories and perspectives in psychology. Okay, if you remember, the thumb represents psychoanalysis. Remember that one? What is it? Go ahead, tell me. Cognitive. Good job. Okay. And then you have on the middle finger, that would be behaviorism, humanism, uh, neuroscience, or physiological theories. Then you have like a sociocultural theory if we had a tattoo on the palm of the hand, and then an extra thumb. Okay, if y'all remember that, that's the way I want you to remember the different theories on aggression. Okay, so let's take a look at these. From an evolutionary perspective, there's a significant gender difference here, and it's probably of no surprise to you, but males are more aggressive, and specifically, the evolutionary view states males behave aggressively to secure status or to display dominance. So if someone chooses, say a female chooses a male, they're choosing someone that provides the greatest protection and resources for them. Secondly, an evolutionary perspectives seem to support males aggress because of jealousy. And specifically, they want to ensure their mate is not having sex with other men, thereby ensuring their paternity. And this is based on a researcher out of the University of Texas, David Buss. Also, we know that from an evolutionary perspective, testosterone plays a significant role. And the greater the testosterone, that's linked to greater aggression. And this is a correlational finding, not a causal finding. From a sociocultural perspective, aggression is an optional strategy to deal with a situation. And there is capacity for aggression, and it really exists depending on the circumstances or the situation a person finds them in. okay? And the expression of aggression is really based on a person's circumstances and, again, the culture. So again, this comes from that strong sociocultural perspective. Considering the sociocultural perspective, let's look at the gender differences in aggression among males and females. Now, physical aggression is more likely to be found among men. Okay, they're more likely to be perpetrators of extreme violence in family situations, and they're more likely to inflict serious injury upon others. Now, also note there's really no gender difference found when it comes to physical aggression and a partner. Okay. Now, and also there's no gender difference when it comes to, say, verbal aggression and also emotional aggression. Relational aggression is really defined as harming another person through the manipulation of relationships. There is a gender difference here when it comes to relational aggression, because females or women are more likely to be perpetrators when it comes to the manipulation of relationships. Moving on to another theory about aggression. Is aggression innate or is it learned? Let's take a look at this whole idea whether or not aggression is innate or is it learned with other animals. Now, there was some interesting research, and I'm just going to highlight it right here on your PowerPoint slide, that I want you to be familiar with. And it was, again, looking at the question of whether or not aggression is innate in kittens. And what the researcher discovered was the fact that if kittens were raised with rats, they can actually become close companions. And if they're raised together, these kittens would actually refuse to even chase or kill another rat. And so we see that there is some evidence that it can be learned. But on the flip side, the research on this is still mixed, because they still find with chimpanzees that they still exhibit aggressive behavior where they will hunt and actually kill other chimps. Now, another interesting animal would be the bonobos. They, they have an interesting way of dealing with conflict. They actually, will not kill or hunt other bonobos, but they will actually, to diffuse a conflict, they engage in affection and lovemaking in order to diffuse conflict. So these animals, they have found, do not exhibit the same aggression like you find in chimpanzees. So let's move on to the learning perspective, specifically the social cognitive theory. Now, this whole idea of the social cognitive theory right here is really based on, learning through observation and the imitation of other people. Again, we learn by observing and imitating other people. Now, we can learn positive behavior like altruistic behavior or pro-social behavior because we observe another, person helping someone else. But on the flip side, we can also learn aggressive behavior, okay? And you probably remember Albert Bandura's research. Let me see if I can just kind of highlight again Albert Bandura and his research with the Bobo doll. He was wanting to answer the question, will watching aggressive models actually cause children to behave aggressively? And that's a pick from the original research. Now, if you remember also, the independent variable in Albert Bandura's research was the child that was exposed to an aggressive model. The aggressive model, again, uh, engaged in behaviors like knocking around the Bobo doll, hitting, hammering the Bobo doll, and also the dependent variable was really then measured by the child's aggression. Okay, hopefully you remember that. The result was, uh, again, the following. Children imitated the aggressive adult. They treated the doll in an abusive way, imitated the exact actions of the adult, whereas children in the control group that were exposed to a model that did not behave aggressively almost never showed aggression. So again, this is some photos. Here you find some photos of the original research right here of the child behaving aggressively towards the Bobo doll. As we continue to discuss the theories of aggression, let's look at the physiological influences, specifically pain and discomfort. We know individuals that are experiencing pain, that increases aggression, as well as discomfort like extreme heat, humidity, air pollution, and offensive odors can also cause aggression. Additional physiological influences would be that of alcohol. Alcohol increases aggression, and this link has been well documented. If we look at some of the reasons why, well, it reduces anxiety and inhibitions, and basically making us less cautious than we usually are. Oftentimes, it can disrupt the information processing. And then also, the third reason is because of the think drink effect, which is really based on expectations a person has when they consume alcohol. And so, if they expect the alcohol to really affect them, then that's what they will experience.